Statesville, Virginia today for the Bassmaster Virginia Invitational. A field of 290 pros are eager to fish this one. Carr Reservoir, or Bugs Island Lake as it's also called, is an outstanding bass fishery. And we're here at the prime time, early May. The lake level is up and the bass are in the shoreline cover. The only question is, will a falling lake level change things? You'll find out how the pros adjust and learn the winning techniques. I'm Bob Cobb. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back.
John H. Kerr Reservoir, a 50,000-acre impoundment on the Virginia-North Carolina border. It's the first week in May, a perfect date for the $214,000 Bassmaster Virginia Invitational. The fish are shallow and hungry. They're biting. However, there's one problem. The lake level is falling. Establishing a fish-catching pattern that'll hold up for 3 days could be tricky. Also, there's a nasty cold front in the weather picture. But Ken Cook, the 1991 Bassmasters Classic World Champion, thinks his shallow water spinnerbait pattern is a safe bet.
They've been up in these bushes when the water was high, probably trying to spawn. And the water pulling down so fast over the last 10 days or 2 weeks has brought that to a halt. So but they really want to stay shallow, I think, to probably spawn again next week. We've got another full moon coming in a week from today. So if the lake level would get stable, I think these fish are wanting to set up again to spawn.
Cook isn't the only pro banking on a spinnerbait bite. Zell Rowland of Texas is fishing the edge of flooded pole timber with a tandem willow leaf spinner. A good pattern now, but take note of the falling watermark on the trees. The lake level is steadily dropping. The daily tournament limit is 5 bass, but just a limit of 14-inch keepers may not make the money here, as Jack Haynes of Louisiana explains.
One thing about these fish, it's amazing to me how good a quality. This is one of the smaller fish that I've caught since I've been here. And this fish will go 2.5 pounds. This is a dandy little old fish in anybody else's lake, but this lake has really produced some giant strings of fish. 3 to 4 pound average is common to see here. It's just phenomenal. It's a pretty little old fish. I'd give him my teeth to have that in any other tournament. But this one will be cub.
As a rule, bigger baits equal bigger bass, and flipping a jig and plastic crawfish trailer is an effective shallow water presentation. It's working for veteran Missouri pro Basil Bacon. This first day's action winds down, and it may not be too soon. The wind forces anglers into the semi-protected creeks. Here, Linda England of Old Hickory, Tennessee, is trying a different technique. A floating worm on a Carolina rig reels slowly along the channel bank. She's nearing a 5 bass limit and happy about things, despite the weather conditions. Jack Haynes wasn't kidding. A 3-pound average 5 bass limit won't crack the top 20 leaderboard here. Haynes, the 1975 world champion, weighs in 18 pounds, 12 ounces. His first-day partner, Ted Miller of Arizona, duplicated it. What a day. Over 37 pounds of bass between them.
I was just culling fish all day, and he was too. And, you know, if I hadn't had that 5-pounder, he'd have beat me like a yard dog. But, you know, it was... Everything worked out real good. We had 2 18-plus pound stringers, and we just hope we can do it tomorrow.
Was there any one particular lure pattern that worked?
Yeah, it was underwater lures most of the day, and it was off cover and off cover a lot of times.
Okay, Jack, but here's the catch of the day.
Watch out, leader. New leader, 20 pounds and 4 ounces for Gary Klein of Texas, who takes over the lead.
We're going to keep catching for the next couple days, hopefully.
How do you adjust when a lake's falling like this, as it's been changing every day? What do you do? What do you look for?
Well, Bob, it's almost like the springtime. You know where the fish live, and you can see where they're going to. All I've done is reverse that. You see where they've been, and you know where they're headed to, so they got to be somewhere in between.
Right, Gary. But there's not much between you and the other leaders on the scoreboard. Basil Bacon is only 9 ounces out of first.
And I think maybe I've got the bigger ones figured out, but, you know, that's today and tomorrow's another world.
Larry Lazone of Florida in 3rd place is less than a pound behind the leader. Every angler in the top 10 has 18 pounds or better. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back with second round action in the Virginia Invitational.
Coffee time!
Day 2 of the Virginia Invitational. Cold and wet. You'd think bass tournaments were magnets. They just seem to attract bad weather. Air temperature has dropped to the low 40s. More important, surface water temperature has dipped 4 degrees. Perfect conditions for flipping. Basil Bacon in 2nd place is doing just that along flooded bushes in Grassy Creek. He's Texas rigged a 6-inch Guido sow bug on 20-pound line with a 3/8 ounce peg slip sinker. Lure color might be the key. Basil dyed the pinchers on the slime green-colored plastic crawfish, chartreuse. But then again, it might be his slow, thorough lure presentation.
Boy.
That's 4 quick bass in the live well for Basil Bacon. He may be in the lead, but our camera crew hasn't seen yesterday's leader, Gary Klein, since the early morning checkout. He's on a run-and-gun hit-and-miss pattern, and we've missed him. But we've located Kevin Van Dam. This young Michigan Bassmaster is the hottest pro on the Bass Angler Sportsman Society's trail. He needs weight here to stay on top of the Angler of the Year race. This gives him over 16 pounds this morning. Have the cold temperatures changed Van Dam's fish-catching strategy?
With the weather as cold as it is, you wouldn't think these fish would be moving up, but the ones I've caught today are all pre-spawn. They're fresh on the bank, and they're real aggressive. They're real fat and healthy, and they're in real shallow water. Most of the bites I'm getting are in 1 foot to 2 foot is a deep bite today. They really seem to be keying on these rounding flat points.
Basil Bacon hasn't isolated his pattern this morning.
There's no particular rhyme or reason as to what bush they're on. These fish are actually spawning back here, and they're spawning, catching some of them around the bases of the larger trees, catch some of them around the button bushes, and some of them around some other bushes you don't even know what they are. But there's no particular place that you have to fish or where the fish are spawning, so you just have to fish all of it to try to find one of them. Coffee time!
That's Basil's 5 bass limit, but it better be a short break. The big bite is on. Van Dam will cull with this fish. He's over 18 pounds today. Basil Bacon, with a good limit in the live well, he's giving his partner Jim Pokratsky of Pennsylvania the front of the boat.
Come on. There you go.
That's a quality fish. Do you think Basil wishes he had that bass in his bag at this afternoon's second-day weigh-in? Regardless, Bacon scores 19 pounds 1 ounce. His 2-day total of 38 pounds 12 ounces takes over the lead. But look at this. Here's a monster bag of bass.
Watch the scales. Biggest string of the tournament. Look at this, folks. Shaw Grigsby, 24 pounds and 10 ounces. 24.10 for 5 bass. My gosh. Shaw, hold up a couple of them. They've all got to be big bass in there. That's unbelievable.
Today, everything went well. A lot of nice fish out there. The problem I'm having is that from about 11 o'clock on, I didn't get bit, so I don't know what to expect for tomorrow.
Well, here's the leaderboard going into tomorrow's final round. Shaw Grigsby's on top but only by 14 ounces over Basil Bacon. Jack Haynes moves up to third, only 1 pound behind. And yesterday's leader, Gary Klein, hangs in there, just 2 pounds, 1 ounce, back in fourth place. We'll be right back with more bass catching action in the Bassmaster Virginia Invitational. Stay tuned. Day 3, showdown round of the $214,000 Bassmaster Virginia Invitational. For the winner, there's $35,000 on the line. But there's more than money at stake in Shaw Grigsby's boat.
I don't know.
The luck of the BASS computer drawing has paired Grigsby, the tournament leader, with Kevin Van Dam, the Angler of the Year point leader. Both need a good bag of bass.
I feel real good about it because, you know, I get to fish my fish, and just like Shaw said, you know, I've been catching about 20 keepers a day, and his fish have been turning off, so I'm pretty confident we can each catch a pretty good sack today. I think a lot of guys' fish are going to run out, but I've got a lot of areas to fish, and it's been a little slower today than it has been the last 2 days, but we're getting bit.
I still blew it. I love this competition stuff.
We're going to catch them big time today because we're both making each other work for it, you know.
Oh, it's a hog! It's a hog!
That's the size you're used to catching.
These are your hogs?
That's a monster right there, buddy.
There's a good one.
Oh, that ain't.
He's a
keeper.
That's what counts. I'll take him around the other side. No, I'm not. I'll take him right here. And it's another hog. Golly.
We on the big ones today, Shaw?
No, you're on the big ones. I'm on the babies. There he is. That's a little, hopefully a little keeper. He may be a...
Not a big one, but right now they look good, don't they?
Yes, darling.
How's the final round going for Basil Bacon?
Boy, stay on it, stay on it. Stay on it. Need help? Need help?
Don't count Basil Bacon out of this tournament. He's got a limit in the live well and will cull a smaller fish with this one. He's now running and gunning, fishing bushes on windy points. And moments later, Basil's got another heavyweight. This bass could decide the winner. Rain gear and umbrellas, the uniform for the final weigh-in at North Bend Park. But a cold, steady rain doesn't dampen the crowd's mood. They're here to see and cheer their bassin' heroes. And here's yesterday's leader, Shaw Grigsby.
Well, I tell you what, I had a great day today. It was really an honor to fish with Kevin. Kevin Van Dam's one of the superstars of the business and just a super fine individual.
Let's see what you got here. 15 pounds, 6 ounces, that'll give you about 45 pounds. I don't know, we haven't got a stat sheet where that's gonna keep you in the lead or not, but let's hold up a couple of your big fish. It's gonna be ounces, whichever it is. Shaw, you had a 24-pound stringer yesterday, and I know a lot of people are interested in how you caught those fish and if you went back to them today.
I caught them all over in Nutbush, and I caught them on a Stanley 3/8 ounce spinnerbait, double gold willow leaves. They really hammered it, and it was a real early bite. I really got spooked, and Kevin said his fish were biting all day, so we said, we're gonna go to Kevin's fish. We ran up there this morning, and it was tough. Kevin caught a good 4-pounder to start, and then after that, it just was real tough. Ran into my stuff, and it was just wide open. So we started catching them, and Kevin is a superb caster, and I just got outcast today because he is really great, and I was just in the bushes and hitting and missing and really not having a great casting day. and he was pinpoint.
Jack Haynes needed only 1 more pound to catch Shaw Grigsby yesterday. Today, he's got a basketful.
18 pounds, 10 ounces, Jack. Hold up a couple of big fish there. This Louisiana angler has been on some kind of fish this week. We've been looking for you with 2 camera crews for 3 days, and we hadn't found you yet. And where were you hiding?
I wasn't hiding at all. I just passed the camera crews as I was jumping points. I probably hit 30 or 40 points a day, and I would just hit sweet gum points. And anytime there's sweet gum trees, pole timber, so to speak, running out in the water, had any kind of depth on it at all, with wind blowing on it, is what I was fishing. And it seemed to hold true every day. It just got a little lesser and lesser as they drew the water down. I think those fish kept moving out. Today, I managed to catch some fish off from them, just slowing the bait down. And I was using a Bulldog 3/4 ounce spinnerbait with a number 7 silver willow leaf, and that made a big difference, that number 7 blade. My first day partner, Ken Miller, kind of keyed me on to that. We found these fish together, and we just went our separate ways, running and gunning different stuff, and kind of split some stuff. And you know, he's got a good bag every day, and I just got lucky and caught a nice fish today to give me that bag.
We've just been told that you've taken the lead, Jack.
Well, this is the first flight, and we all know that, but it's fun to be here on top for a little while.
And stick there he does. Jack Haynes of Manny, Louisiana, with 15 bass, weighing 57 pounds 4 ounces, is the champion of the Bassmaster Virginia Invitational. Basil Bacon of Springfield, Missouri, is second, 56 pounds 11 ounces, almost a photo finish. The difference, just 9 ounces. Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man. Running and gunning. It's what a Bassmaster Pro does when he's on a hot pattern on a hot lake. Jack Haynes covered 30 to 40 key spots each fishing day in winning the Virginia Invitational. Here's how Jack fished the windy points with sweet gum trees, the key structure.
The reason I feel like the sweet gums are really important is because they have heavy root systems. And the windier the point, the better, because the shad have been blowing across the point, and the sweet gums were important because they've have perfect natural hiding places for the bass. They make big caves and tunnels so they can hide in there and make perfect ambush points for the bass. The reason I went to the big blade, I went to a number 7 willow leaf blade on the on my Bulldog spinnerbaits, because the shad were quite large, and I figured the bigger the shad, the bigger the bait, the better it would resemble the big shad, might cull the smaller fish for bigger fish. What I've been using is just a small white twin-tail trailer on the back of my spinnerbait. I've been using a solid white skirt, kind of resembles the shad themselves, with the big blade. It seems to be pretty important. I tried a curl tail trailer, and it didn't seem to work quite as well as the small double tail. I don't know if it's the size or just the way the double tails work in the water. It seemed to work a lot better than the little curl tail. Boy, this is a good looking point. This is the kind of point that I caught on. There he is. Oh, that's a good one. That's a dandy fish. There. Yeah, that's sweetheart. That's what I like. Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She knocked my little trailer off. That's one that wouldn't have been culled in a lot of bags. That's a dandy. Look how red that tail is. That fish going, probably just come off the bed. Maybe she's just going on.
This lake is a bass factory, 349 limits, almost 8,000 pounds of bass weighed in. Carr Reservoir or Bugs Island Lake, whatever you call it, it's great. And a great winning effort by our champion, Jack Haynes. Now next week, we'll be at the BP Top 100 on North Carolina's Lake Norman. You'll follow the hottest young pro, Kevin Van Dam, as he tries to hold on and win the coveted Bass Angler of the Year title. It won't be easy. Four-time world champion Rick Clunn is in the hunt. For the Bassmasters, I'm Bob Cobb. See you all next week from Mooresville, North Carolina.
The Bassmasters has been brought to you by